So James Dianeco's just commented, hello, we use two 100 gig external hard disk drives, very cumbersome and inefficient. Absolutely, James. And from a coverage standpoint, I mean, that's a great example of your typical disk backup array. It only covers devices that are connected to that. So how many of the devices on your network are in fact connected to those external hard disk drives? Most of them not, and your laptops probably not. Laptops is the biggest issue where coverage comes up. But as more and more data is starting to accumulate on mobile devices, we're seeing mobile be the new frontier of backup as well. So we will very soon have, in our new summer release, you'll be able to back up BlackBerries and iPhones and all sorts of other data, as well as laptops and servers and workstations, which has always been our core business. But let's contrast the centrally architected backup solution with online backup, where every single device is under the backup cloud. So what we mean by that is a laptop, if it leaves the office and is no longer connected to the LAN, can no longer be backed up to the server, but it's always connected to the internet. These days, most laptops are always connected to the internet. And that means that laptop can be protected. So whether it's laptops, whether it's branch offices, anything that's not in your existing backup cone or on that centrally architected solution can now be backed up with online backup. Extremely simple. In terms of media, so to James's comment, external hard disk drives are very cumbersome. So are any physical media. So whether it's disk or tape or DVD and other archival media. With online backup, there is no physical media. It's set and forget software as a service. So you deploy SOS, and that's the last step that you have to worry about. After that, your backups just happen what we call auto-magically internally. Recovery is also something that's often overlooked by people when they're evaluating backup technologies. A backup's only as good as the recovery. So, and a lot of people don't think about how effective their backup technology is for recovery. How long will it take you to rebuild your environment? With tape-based solutions, where you've got full backup archives and then incremental tapes, recovering an entire environment can literally take 3 or 4 days. So the question for you as a small business operator is, just what cost does that represent for your business to be offline for 3 or 4 days or without crucial data? We get calls all the time and case studies in our care department of businesses who are completely down and urgently need access to a Quicken database or an inventory database or certain other files that their business simply can't operate without. And we've got an emergency response team who will immediately get that data back for customers. But you can get it yourself. You can log in with it with our software, and you can get access to data in the cloud at any time. So I'm just going to flip my screen here just to give you to demonstrate what I'm talking about. So here in this web browser, you can see I'm actually logged in with the browser into my online backup account. You can see I've got a bunch of PCs that I've got backed up to this particular account. And in real time here, I can access my data that's stored in the cloud. I don't need to recover from tapes. I don't need to wait days to do a recovery. I've got instant access to all of my computers. In this case, you can see I've got 7 or 8 PCs all being managed essentially with my account. Contrast that with your typical physical backup technologies, and you've got very long recovery windows, so that and very great expense associated with those recovery windows. All right, so I'm running a bit behind on schedule here. From a security standpoint, disk, tape, and DVD, none of them meet the regulatory requirements of SARbox or HIPAA, simply because they're generally not encrypted. So every high-profile data loss incident that you read of in the news is around a unencrypted backup that's where physical control's been lost to that. So a tape was misplaced, a laptop was misplaced. With online backup, every piece of data is encrypted in your local environment before it ever is transferred. Then it's sent over an encrypted tunnel to our data centers, and then it's re-encrypted and stored on the server side. We often get questions about our encryption system. Access to data with traditional backup technologies, it's only the IT guy who understands where and how the data is backed up and stored and how to do a recovery. With online backup, you saw how simple it was just a second ago. Anybody in your business, if you want to set it up this way, can log in and get real-time access to their data. From a management standpoint, online backup is far more affordable, and your overall cost, whether you're talking about physical capital cost of actual equipment and software, or whether you're talking about operational cost to run and the hidden costs associated with, for example, downtime. Online backup is anywhere from 70 to 80% less expensive than traditional backup solutions. So on the screen there's a case study, which is an example of one of our customers who's using tape backup and moved to our solution. And so their total cost on their backup, on their tape array, the capital equipment cost, and when I say capital equipment, I'm talking about the physical hardware and the software. So I'm not looking at any of the labor costs associated with these backup solutions. And the labor costs are very substantial. That's time taken away from your business that prevents you from doing what you do best. In some studies, the labor costs associated with tape backup are shown to be as much as 100% of the capital cost. So, but just looking at capital costs on this backup solution, the price tag was $6,146 for the initial deployment, and then the total 5-year cost. There was then recurring costs on various pieces of the capital equipment. Total 5-year cost was $9,130. Contrast that with when they moved to SOS. The total cost to back up their entire business, the 12-employee company, was $1,000 a year. So it's only 16% of the first-year cost of the tape backup solution. And we've covered this. So really contrasting what happens with these centrally architected backup solutions. In the world of SOS, we take the software, the hardware, the services, and support that you need, and we wrap it all up in our cloud-based backup offering. Just in terms of some statistics, a recent survey by CTO Edge magazine has got as many as 70% of the enterprise CTOs who were surveyed moving some or all of their backup to cloud-based backup. So there's a real groundswell going on in the market with millions of people moving to cloud-based backup. We're one of the leaders of that industry, and we'd really like to see you using our technology to protect your data. So again, recapping, we're going to turn and look at the actual product technology now, but just recapping the solution. Remember that you get access to our global infrastructure grid of 10 data centers worldwide and 5 in the United States, our award-winning software, and then our professional services team who will assess, deploy, and manage your backup, and then they are then supported by our training organization and our support organization who will continue to work with you and protect your data throughout the lifetime of your subscription with SOS. So taking a step back and looking at what the SOS product is all about, it's actually about more than just backup. We've always, as a company, focused our product strategy around 3 pillars: protect, access, and share. When we talk about protect, we mean backup and recovery. So we focus on having world-class, best-of-breed backup and recovery technology. Access is about new ways for you to get access to your data in real time. We saw an example of that where I was accessing data through a browser, but I can do that from a BlackBerry device, an Android, from my iPhone, from a netbook. And then share is often overlooked as a consumer feature, but it really isn't. We designed our sharing system for businesses because we found that a lot of businesses have difficulty getting data to people that they need to share data with, whether that's getting financial information to accountants or just emailing around really large attachments. And when you start moving all of your data to the cloud, it opens up these new avenues of working with and consuming and sharing your data. So our customers who use our online backup system to protect their data also use it to access it anywhere and on the road, and also use it to share with business colleagues. So instead of saying, when I get back to the office, I'll email you this presentation, I can, on my iPhone, access this presentation immediately and email it to you right at lunch. So turning to what that actually means in the SOS product, and there's a screenshot down here in the bottom right-hand corner. We're going to look at some of the key features of the SOS product. First thing I'm going to do is just actually bring up, here on screen you can actually see the SOS client software. And there are 2 ways of using the SOS client software, in wizard mode, which I've got up in screen, or for the more technically savvy users, our classic view, which is our advanced view. I'll leave it in wizard mode for now because it really gives you a sense of how simple the technology is to use. We spent millions of dollars on usability research to make certain that our product is most responsive to the needs and demands of our customers. And so there are 4 key things that I can do with the software. I can back up to the internet, I can back up to the cloud, back up online, I can recover data from the cloud, I can back up locally, I can restore locally. So here at SOS, we believe in two-stage backup, that you should always have a full local backup of your data, and you should then have a cloud backup of your data. So unlike other online backup companies, we've invested heavily in our local backup technology, which allows you to continue to have full local backups of all of your data, as well as then using our online backup technology to make certain that your most crucial data is being protected. And again, just to give you a sense of how easy the software is to work, I've clicked into the online backup wizard, and I can step through this wizard to select what I need to protect, when I would like that backup to run, who I would like the platform to notify when I'm running backups, and this will email when the backup's complete or any issues. I can review just what it is that I've set up to backup and when. I simply click Finish, and my backup's configured to run. So it really is that simple. Now, I'm turning to some key features of the SOS system. Okay, so we've covered that. Sorry, I've just had to refresh the screen. A continuous data protection module, let me talk to this. This is our Live Protect system. And what this refers to is the fact that we can actually, not only will we run backups on a schedule, but we can actually continuously monitor individual files that you need to be backed up. And every time that content is modified, the system will then detect that change and immediately back it up to the cloud. Unlimited computers. So you saw when I was logged into my account earlier that I was managing 8 different PCs from one account. So one of the, if you look at our competitors, what they charge, they actually charge you a license fee per seat. So you pay, say, $6.95 for every server that you need to back up every month, even if you're not backing up any data. So that can then really, with a 10-person business, that can really actually start to load the costs. You can be paying as much as $360, $400 a year to back nothing up. Whereas with SOS, one of the great benefits of the software is actually running it across multiple PCs and servers so that you can manage them all from one central location. Global roaming access, we've already talked about, and access on iPhone we've talked about local backup. So enhanced security and privacy. We often get we get questions around security. I'm happy to take any questions, and Lynn's already talked about this. Our ultra-safe security model is a private key encryption model where we encrypt the data with military-grade encryption before the data ever leaves your PC or your office. And we can do that with a key only known to you. So that literally even if somebody were to get access to our back end, which has never happened, and we've got very deep protection, both physical and network, around our infrastructure, obviously. But even if that were to happen, the data is absolutely useless without the encryption key that only you know. So that's our ultra-safe security system, and something that a lot of small businesses with sensitive data, like accounting businesses or medical businesses, will leverage. Our compression and transfer system, what this is talking to here is really the fact that we optimize the bandwidth consumption. So a lot of our customers use DSL connections, for example. And the way SOS works is, on day one, it will back up all of the data to the cloud. But thereafter, on each day, all it will do is back up the incremental ones and zeros, the binary code that has changed from day to day. With file filters, you can tell the system what types of files to back up, what not. You can tell it, for example, to ignore videos if that is going to fill up your backup account. You don't want that pushed to the cloud. Physical media upload. If you've got a lot of data to back up, we can actually FedEx you a hard disk drive, and we'll run the backup to the hard disk drive. It's still fully encrypted and secure, and then ship that back to us, and we'll upload it to the data center. This is important for customers who are concerned about how much bandwidth online backup is going to use. Our recovery system's worth talking about. This is, we've built a timeline-based recovery system, which lets you see every single